Heat illness stops the body from being able to cool itself as the temperatures get higher and are prolonged. So every person has the ability to cool themselves through a number of mechanisms like thirst and sweating, and then the desire to avoid hot temperatures and seek shade. Over a prolonged time period, if the person's body is hot and they continue to be exposed to high temperatures, that ability breaks down and they begin to suffer heat illness. Initially, they'll have forms of illness such as heat exhaustion that, as they become more severe, may include things like heat syncope, or where they pass out from the heat illness, and ultimately they can have what's called heat stroke. Heat stroke on the spectrum is probably the most severe form of heat illness, where the body has lost the ability to really effectively cool itself. The patient becomes confused or altered and has limited ability to avoid further heat illness. Those patients are at the highest risk and need treatment the quickest possible. When we have those patients come into the emergency department, our focus is on rapidly cooling them to return their core temperature back to a normal level. There are a lot of ways to cool patients who come into the emergency department, and they're done in a variety of different settings. Commonly, people will put ice packs on the patient or spray water on them or put cold towels. Just the fact of moving them out of the sun is helpful. What we've found in the emergency department, and what has historically been known, is that by submerging them, or immersion in cold water, is the gold standard or fastest way to cool a patient who's being affected by heat illness or heat stroke. In our emergency department, over the last few years, we've implemented a protocol. We started it back around 2020 to 2021. It was actually a quality initiative from one of our residents, where we began placing patients in cold water when they came into the emergency department with heat stroke in an effort to cool them as rapidly as possible. And what we found over the last few years is that the time it takes to cool patients in a in submersion or immersion is much quicker than the other approaches to cooling them. And what we've seen in our patient population is the outcomes are better. They are surviving more, the neurological outcomes from the heat stroke are reduced, they have a better outcome, and they go home more commonly.